Hey, this is Darren from Property Prosperity. I thought I'd have a bit of a chat to you today about, what a good real estate agent should be doing, and obviously if you're thinking about selling your house yourself, what you should be thinking about doing too. What you should be asking yourself is, who is going to buy this house that I'm putting on the market? And so what they refer to that as trying to work out your target market. And the reason why that's important is because if you're trying to work out who your target market is, then once you know who your target market is, you can gear your marketing campaign towards that target market. At the end of the day, you don't want, if it's a $1 million house in, I don't know, a prestigious suburb, then you don't necessarily want to target that towards first home buyers. It doesn't necessarily mean a first home buyer won't buy it, but straight away, it's less chance of a first home buyer. Hey, Michael, thanks for joining. Less chance of a first-home buyer buying it than somebody else. So again, you wouldn't target it towards, because you've got a limited budget when you're marketing a property and you've got limited funds. So what you really need to do is you really need to make sure every cent you spend is going to give you a return on your investment, I suppose. So basically, every cent you spend has to make you sell the house for more money. And if it's not, then you shouldn't be spending the money on those sort of things. So that might be a question for you if you are, chatting to agents at the moment, you're not really sure which ones you should be talking to and which ones know what they're talking about, which ones don't. Then probably start with that first question. Who is the target market? And to be honest, they should be bringing that up. You shouldn't have to ask that question. So if they're not bringing that up and saying, hey, this is the person that I think is going to, or the people that I think is going to buy this house, it might be a young couple or a young couple with two kids, or it might be an older couple, or it might be a particular social demographic. So someone that's just starting out with, very little funds, or someone that's got heaps of cash and, have set themselves up. And so if they don't know the answer to that before they're even talking to you, because at the end of the day, they should be able to, from their experience, they should have a good idea of, who's likely to buy certain houses. And they should also have experience of, when I'm selling that type of houses, what do I have to do to make it appeal to that target market? So that's the first thing. So identify your target market. You can't understand your target market until you identify it. And make that as really specific as possible. So, age group, 35 to 45, and it's got, married with two kids and, got a dog, and they've got, both working full time. Their kids go to local school. Their kids are going to be 8 and 12, or, try and make it as specific as possible, because then it just makes it so much easier when you're marketing the property, because everything you do from then on can gear it toward that type of person. So when I've talked about in the past about trying to present your house as well as possible. So if we're going to hire some furniture and have really nice photos and nice video, we're gearing it towards that section of the market. So the music we're going to have over our video is going to be suited to that type of market. The furniture we have in the house is going to be suited to that type of market. The way we communicate, on our flyers and marketing is going to be suited toward that type of market. So every single thing you do is geared towards that specific targeted market until you have a reason to believe otherwise. So that's the first thing. Know your targeted market, and you really need to understand them. So the thing is, it may change. So you may have an expectation, just like the price, you have an expectation of what you think it's going to sell for, but you never really know. At the end of the day, you're not buying it. So, it's not up to you what the price is worth, and it's not up to the owner what the price is worth. It's up to what people are willing to pay. So likewise, who's going to buy it? You don't really know until you put it on the market and start getting people to come and have a look at it. But what I'd be using is a bit of a shortcut to try and work out, okay, who's going to buy this property? I'd use the owner as a bit of a guide. If the owner's only been there for a few years, or even if they've been there for quite a while, who were they when they first bought the property? Were they a young family, or were they an older couple, or were they, use that as a bit of a guide. And again, there might be exceptions. You might say, well, they've got a big, massive house here, and they're an old couple that, it doesn't suit them anymore. But look back to when they first built the house or bought the house, 20 years ago, and what was their situation like then? And then gear your marketing towards what that owner, was like when they first moved into the house, or when they built the house, and why they designed it in a certain way, because that's going to give you a good hint on who's going to be buying the property, I suppose. So once you've you can use the owner as a bit of a guide, and, you could use a bit of common sense, but at the end of the day, common sense is a guess at the end of the day. So the other thing, you're really not going to know until you put it on the market. So once you put it on the market, you've really got to put a lot of effort into making sure you're getting huge amounts of feedback. So, it's amazing when I go to opens, the agents, you're lucky if they get your name, and your phone number. Sometimes they don't even get that. And again, they don't even call you back because they go, oh, he's not interested, I don't want to talk to him. But the whole reason you're having open inspections is to get feedback. You're trying to give feedback to the owner, not necessarily just about the house, but also feedback about who's going to buy the house. Because if we know we're way off track as far as our target market, we think it's going to sell to a young couple with one kid, and then we suddenly get, we've had 15 groups come through and they're all older couples in their 70s, then we're targeting the wrong market. So we might stick with that, for the second open and the third open. But eventually, if we know that we're getting the wrong target coming to our open, then we know we have to adjust the way we're marketing the property. And it might be, you never know. You go out there and knock on the doors of the local bowls clubs, or the local tennis clubs, or somewhere that we can try and find people that are going to suit it to that target. And likewise, if we know it's younger couples, we might knock on doors of the kindergarten or something like that. So what you're trying to do is focus on the people that are going to buy the house. Don't talk to people that aren't going to buy the house. Don't spend all your money on people that aren't going to buy the house. You've got very limited funds, so you've got to spend the money very, very wisely. So that's why generally I have two people in an open. I have one person at the front, welcoming the people, giving them a handout, giving them some information when they come in, and then I'm in there trying to sell the house. But I'm not even only trying to do that. I'm trying to get feedback, not just about the house, but also feedback about the owners. I want to know the purchasers. I want to know, what's their situation? Why are they looking at buy? Why are they looking at buying this area? Why are they, what's their family situation? So, because then we can go back to the owners and have a really good plan of attack. Okay, well, this is the type of person that's going to buy the property. I think we've done the right thing. This is the target we were aiming for. Yeah, we're right on track. So we just stick with it, and we know, if at least we're targeting, that's one less thing you have to worry about. So we tick that box off, and then it might be the price, or it might be some other way there's an issue. But at least it's not the target market's the problem. So you've got to get heaps and heaps of feedback. So, and then again, once you've had the open, you follow them all up, give them all a call. I know, some agents only call the people that are interested. You're calling all the people because, they'll only tell you certain things at the open. Again, if you get heaps of people at the open too, you have a very limited chance to have a chat to everyone, like a good chat. So quite often I follow up after the open and I'm talking, I might talk to people for half an hour or more, or an hour or so, just trying to really understand the situation. And they might not be interested in buying the property, but I want to understand what their situation is and why they came to look at it in the first place. Because if I understand why they came to look at it, then I can understand why other people might come to look at it. And if it didn't suit, I can know, well, okay, what was it about them that meant it didn't suit? And I know that I have to tweak my target market slightly to make it suit someone that's going to be more suited for, basically. So yeah, hopefully you understand. You really got to get in as much detail as you can. Just ask hundreds and hundreds of questions, trying to find out as much about the people that come as possible. And that's why when I have opens, I invite everyone along, the neighbours, the friends, the workmates, everyone I possibly can, because that's the market. And you're not going to know who's the target market going to be. Sometimes you can take a guess until you get lots of people there, and suddenly someone you didn't think was going to be a target market points out a few things, and you think, man, that's that does suit that person. Maybe I should be focusing on those type of people. So hopefully that's made sense to you. And if you've liked what I had to say, then click on the like button. If you haven't liked it, then still click on the like button because I really appreciate it. And if you know someone's thinking about putting their property on the market, or they're just weighing up which agent they should choose, then click on the share button. Because it would really help them when they're deciding on an agent, that they can sort of tick off the boxes. Does the agent know about this? And does the agent know about that? And does the agent know about this? And if the agent's not talking about target markets, and the agent's not talking about how the understanding of the target market and how we market to a particular target market, then I don't know. I suppose you want to just double check whether that's the agent for you, I suppose. So hopefully that's made sense to everybody. If you have some comments, I'd really appreciate put some comments in the comment box. If you have something else you'd like me to talk about in the future, put a comment in the comment box below. I've also, last Sunday I did a market update report, and I've had someone come through. They want me to give an analysis on a particular suburb in Adelaide, Erindale. So tomorrow night, and you're going to find out a bit more about Erindale. I'll tell you all about the suburb. Area in general, but also in specific as far as the numbers go, what it's been doing over the last 12 months or 5 years or 10 years or 20 years. So if you're interested in something like that, then yeah, feel free to come along tomorrow night and check it out. Otherwise, you can see the replay. Thanks, guys. And again, if you've got any questions, put the comments in the comment box, and I look forward to talking to you soon. Bye. Thanks now.